Well, when I watched that scene, not to damper the mood too much, but I'm sitting there and that scene happened where Regina gets hit by a bus, and I'm like, oh, that's right. That happened at my high school.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Oh, I just realized I didn't roll my Christmas facts.
Christmas facts. Even though this is coming out December 5th, but it's Christmas.
Technically, it's closer than what the last episode was.
Yes.
Not when we're recording this. Okay, so for people who don't know why we do this, as I scroll around this list, I used to say hello in a whole bunch of different languages, and then I ran out of languages because the list gave out and I couldn't find another fun thing. So now I just look at fun trivia lists and then roll hello fly die. No, the fly got away. So now I just am looking up a Christmas themed list. So the first fact is gifts have both Christian and pagan origins. Christians may have grown up learning how we give gifts at Christmas to mimic the presents of three wise men brought the baby Jesus, but like so many other traditions, it also has roots in I don't know how to pronounce this. Saturnalina. It's Saturn with an A-L-I-A. The pagans originally gave offerings to gods too. I did hear about this. I think as I scroll down to the next fact, our trivia thing is, I think my favorite thing is how so many people in the church and in church world, they're like, yep, the shepherds came, and then shortly after the wise men came, and it's like, actually no, they came 2-3 years later. It's like, yeah, that wasn't all at once. Like if you
No. It's like watching Dragon Ball versus Dragon Ball Z. You need the condensed version. Trim a lot of the excess.
Well, that's why you watch
it.
Dragon Ball Kai, which is
trimmed. Yes, yeah, you're right.
Or just watched Dragon Ball Z abridged on YouTube.
Rest in peace? ?
Yeah, they're done.
Mm-hmm. Too many legal battles.
And I agree with what they were saying. Is like the way they ended their Cell Saga thing. It felt like a real true ending, and for what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the other one is astronauts broadcast jingle bells from space. Many of us have done a prank that went almost too far. 9 days before Christmas in 1965, two astronauts aboard the Gemini 6 told Mission Control that they saw an unidentified flying object about to enter Earth's atmosphere, traveling in the polar orbit from north to south. Just as things got tense, they interrupted the broadcast with jingle bells as Wally Sharia, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right either, played a small harmonica accompanied by Tom Stanford shaking a handful of small sleigh bells.
Aww.
Imagine if they were a little bit later of another missile crisis.
Oh boy.
But yes. Oh, wait a second. This would have already started by the time by the time this episode airs. And I think I remembered one of the things I wanted to share with you. Mm-hmm. But I can show it on camera. Give me 1 second. It's just right over there.
All right. So for anyone who's listening to the audio version, you can find the video version on YouTube. You just look up Pointless Discourse, or you could probably look up the name of this episode as well.
We don't know what the name is yet.
We don't, but they will.
They will. They will.
Yes.
But hopefully by the time this comes out. So, I bought my first Christmas thing in years, mm-hmm. and I realized I bought this, and I realized I think too much like a content creator. So I'm like, I could do content with this, and then I realized I'm an idiot. So I bought this.
Why isn't it in the fridge?
I just took it out of the fridge.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It is a cheese advent calendar. It also, let's see,
imported cheeses.
it apparently is a wine advent calendar. And I was like, it pairs with it. And I'm like, oh man, that'd be funny. Except it's sold out. So I wonder, like, Aldi's is like, when it's gone, it's gone. So.
At least you got the cheese while you could.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing. I just looked down at the grocery store and I'm like, oh, okay.
A cheese a day.
Yeah.
You can be just like all the mice that follow you around.
I will punch them in the schnoz if they get my cheese.
No. In the Christmas spirit, we watched all those Christmas morals. You share your cheese with even the mice, or they'll destroy your town clock.
Good for me, I don't have a town clock.
Which movie was that one again?
One of them?
It was one of the Rankin Bass ones. I can't remember the title. That was a weird one.
Wait,
anyway.
We have the list right here. All we have to do is just scroll down. It was not on here. Oh, wait. It was The Night Before Christmas.
Oh. Because time things. Sure. Okay.
Well, like, in the end, they just literally quote the Time Before Christmas poem. So.
That's right. But yeah, so for anyone who is just jumping into this series, yes, Christmas. Yeah, we did Christmas Fact. We did showing off of Payne's Cheese Advent Calendar for the Christmas holidays. But we are watching not so Christmassy movies to determine how much of a Christmas movie is it. So our last episode, we watched The Green Knight, and they mentioned Christmas twice. And they kind of have Christmas music.
Yeah.
It was right in the middle of being a Christmas movie.
I think, like, as I was sitting there thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? Having the first episode be possibly the most middling
Christmas movie.
Middling Christmas movie, I think I like that start where it's just like, okay.
You have a good idea of where you're like, is it more Christmas than this or less Christmas than this?
Yeah.
And we're not strictly rating or ranking the movies against each other for any kind of merits. Just Christmas merit.
But this is the official ranking for the world of if it is a Christmas movie or not. Mm-hmm. So just letting you guys know, we are claiming to be official.
Yeah, so we have already gone and created our list of movies that we're watching, but feel free to leave, comments or contact us through social media to say other movies you think that would apply to this list. Mm-hmm. So the other movies we're watching, so this week is Mean Girls. Next week is Batman Forever. Then it is Gremlins. And then it is Die Hard.
The more I watch these movies, and this happened last time, I think with I don't know if it was last Christmas thing, where I was like, man, sometimes I wonder, I'm like, is there our scoring for, is it a Christmas movie? A good way of scoring it? I'm just like, it's too late now. But sometimes I sit there and wonder, I'm like, is there a better way to figure it out? And I don't know.
I mean, since we have decided to be the official Christmas movie, Christmas aficionados, we know this is the right system, Payne. If we doubt ourselves, how will anybody else trust us in our Christmasification?
Okay. I'll doubt their opinion too.
But yeah, so
it's a healthy doubt.
A healthy doubt. So
it's with great power comes much doubts, or whatever that dead dude said.
So we look at the movies and look, does it take place during the Christmas season at all? Is there Christmas music? Are there Christmas decorations? Is there a Christmas moral? And does Santa appear in the movie?
Which I agree with what you said last week. I don't know if there is a Santa that appears in any of these movies.
Hey, I can argue with you on this one.
Okay, I don't remember. So
we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Even though I literally watched it yesterday.
So did I. But I have also watched it a lot.
My first viewing. Which, like, the thing that we're doing after this, I was sitting there, I was like, man, I wish I didn't already watch what we're going to do next, because I think that would be really fun to have, of like watching week to week, having first reaction and not knowing how it ends.
Regarding?
The next, after Christmas.
Oh, our long running series that we have planned after this. Oh, okay.
I was like that. I'm like, I think that would be a fun dynamic, but can't do much about that now. The only other thing, because that we'll say about our scoring system is that you can get one of three options. I don't know. I said you. The movie can get one of three options. Is 1, 2, or 3. 1 being didn't happen. 2, yeah, it sort of happened. And 3 is it definitely happened. Getting a whopping total of 15 points, and then we take that with both our scores being 30, and then we subtract it, or we see how close it gets to 30. But we said we're gonna start a timer, like give us 30 minutes to share, I guess, either plot or thoughts about this movie, and then we're gonna go into our scoring.
I guess. Do we spoiler warning? How old is this movie now?
I think it's just safe to always do spoiler warnings. Just like, we're just gonna spoil it.
Yeah, I should say it doesn't matter on years, because you didn't watch Mean Girls before this. So yes, spoiler warnings going forth. Mm-hmm. At least for the next... Well, Christmas discussion shouldn't be a big spoiler warning, but... Yeah.
So, but like, that's after. That's after we're gonna talk about the movie. So... once again, I don't have a Christmas die. But anyway. Oh no. Am I gonna have to explain this movie too?
Do you want me to take it?
No, I will honor the die.
What did the die tell you?
15.
I got 11.
Okay. So, I will start the timer first. Mm-hmm. And timer started. I will admit, first 40 minutes of this film wasn't doing it for me. I remember, I don't know if I was just super tired, but I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, I agreed to watch this, so I will finish it. I will say, like, it's not like it's an unpredictable story, but it's pretty much Katie Heron, Lindsay Lohan's character. She comes to high school for the first time, and immediately is swept into clique culture, as some of the teens, this person that she first meets. I don't remember her name.
Janice.
Yes, Janice, and the gay friend. I forget his name. Damien. Okay, I will say Damien, though. Even if I wasn't feeling the whole vibe of the movie, Damien did crack me up. Like, Damien, oh man. Just I think every time he was in there was just great. And I thought that at the end, the scene with Damien and Janice at the end, I'm just like, are they really gonna do that? And they're like, and it's just like, I don't know. I thought it was good. So
yeah, I think this movie is one, like, I don't blame you for not being into the whole premise of it, because I do think it's very, like, I watched it at the right time, because I think I first watched it when I was maybe between 13 and 15. Mm-hmm. So it was something that, like, it's a movie targeted towards that demographic. Yeah. But watching it as an adult, how did a hair get in my mouth? But watching it as an adult, some of the humor and stuff I do appreciate a little bit more than I did then. Mm-hmm. Just some of the things, at least the way the teachers act. Because, I feel like I went from, oh man, I wish the boy I liked would like me back. And then now I'm like, please just do your math homework. Don't be stupid for a boy.
Yeah, it's like watching this for the first time as someone in their 30s. I liked the teachers a whole lot. I did not like some of the parents.
As a teenager, I didn't like the parents either. Don't worry.
Regina's mom, I think.
Air quotes mom.
Oh, is.
No, I just mean, like, in terms of, like, she wants to be her best friend. She doesn't want to be her mom.
Yes, and I'm just like, that is not healthy. And I think it shows.
She's not like other moms. She's a cool mom.
That's anyway. So anyway, the whole plot of this movie is pretty much Lindsay Lohan's character comes in. Her family like was doing nature research or I forget
Something
what.
wildlife related in
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah, and so she grew
Or
up.
archaeology? Because her mom has that
Yeah.
vase, too.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, because that comes in later as well. But yeah, she lives up in there. Her mom gets tenure, I think it was, and the fly is flying around my head.
Tonight's a
and-
night just full of mishaps.
Yeah. So they come back to the U.S. and Katie goes to her first ever year of high school, where her
Yeah, I
first
believe
day,
she was homeschooled the whole time,
Yes.
right? She said, yeah.
and so her first day is absolutely terrible. And then from there, she makes friends, as we said, Janice and Damien, and they go through and they have fun, and then it doesn't really explain it, but like all of a sudden, like I think it's the same time Katie gets recognition from the Plastics, as they're called, which are the popular girls, and they title all the different cliques and everything going there, which some of them I'm like, that wouldn't fly today. Like, anyway, yeah, it's just like
no, I think they kind of half explain the reason why she gets attention from the Plastics. I think Damien out in the field is like, "Oh, Katie, you're like a hottie," and
Yes,
she's like, "What do you
yeah.
mean?" And he is like, "You're attractive."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They do explain like, oh yeah, you're, and it's, as I found out today, this was also a book, so I'm like, okay, there's probably a little bit more build up to it because the movie does. It's a whole
fast-paced
school
movie.
year, and
Yeah.
it's really fast, and so we kind of get snippets throughout the year. But so like, Katie falls in love with Regina George, who is the main popular girl who's a jerk. It's her ex, and then so she's like trying to like, okay, her first high school crush, to how to like keep friends while also like manipulating and the popular girls to like take them down.
Yeah, I think the funny thing in the story is that they kind of set it up. It's her second crush ever, because she's her first crush is when she said she was like 5, and she said, "I like you," and he pushed her and ran away.
He's like, no. Like, come back.
And she just stands there. Aw.
Yeah. So they have all that stuff, and it's pretty much just snippets throughout the year of like pretty much the first half is Katie falling into plasticdom without realizing it. And
because Janice is the one that initially is like, "Oh, I hate Regina George. We should do this whole revenge plot." And Katie, innocently enough, is like, "Oh, if you guys think this is a good idea, then sure, I can pretend to be part of them." But yeah, like you said, she does. The line between pretending and becoming one is like very thin for her.
yeah, and so
She could not be an undercover cop. She ended up being a drug dealer.
yeah, and so it goes through there, and then she purposely starts failing her classes to actually failing her classes, well, at least math class, to pretty much impress this crush.
I think impress is the wrong word. Get his attention.
Get his attention, yeah. It did make me laugh when he's like, so yeah, this is what it means. Wrong. Like in her head, she's like, that's not right. There
And
you
he's
go.
like, "But I double checked it," and she's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, there you go."
Yeah, he's like, yeah, so I got this, and the answer is 0. Wrong. But I went and double checked my work, and the answer is 1. Correct. It's just like, okay.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
then because she's in I think she's supposed to be a junior, so grade 11, and she's in grade 12 math.
so since there's a lot more happening in this movie than The Green Knight, I think I would just share possibly a few things that stuck out.
Of course.
One is A lot of people in this school get isekai'd. Bus Chan is taking all the junior hires out. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, well, you can look that up on your own. But there's a lot of people that either by pretend or for real get hit by a bus.
The bus is a recurring joke. And, like, on my, like, X number of rewatch, I never caught that in the very beginning. Katie almost gets hit by a bus.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, is that foreshadowing? Oh, that is foreshadowing.
And I think the movie does it interestingly, where it was fast-paced enough that I forgot about it. And then Regina walks in the road. I'm like, oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Well, when I watched that scene, not to damper the mood too much, but I'm sitting there and that scene happened where Regina gets hit by a bus, and I'm like, oh, that's right. That happened at my high school. Yes. To my knowledge, the girl is fine. She was wearing headphones and did not hear the bus coming. And I think the bus was already like slowing down because it wasn't going super fast because
but a bus is very heavy, so
yes.
It can't brake. Yeah, immediately.
So I was watching it and she got hit by a bus and I'm like, wow, this is like my 11th grade year at high school.
You're like, oh, this brings me back.
And I was like, was she a plastic? Yeah. So
as long as nobody started rumors that somebody else pushed her in, I'm gonna say no. She probably wasn't a plastic.
Yeah. So that was the thing that happened a lot. And now my brain kind of erased. The big thing. Okay, so this is a question I wanted to ask you. Is what clique? And it doesn't have to be one of the ones that was mentioned in the movie, but like, were you in a clique in high school or were put in one?
So accidentally, but like not in so much that I belonged in a clique, more so that I didn't belong in any other clique. So I wouldn't say I was necessarily in the same kind of vibe as like Janice, but I was kind of like not as extreme as the mathletes, but I was in like all the AP courses and I hung out with all the kids in the AP courses, and none of us got invited to the parties, like that kind of vibe. Also, a lot of people didn't know who I was. They just knew, oh, you're Strider's girlfriend. I'm like, hi. They're like, what grade are you in? And I'm like, I'm in your class. And they're like, oh, weird.
Yeah. I was very similar, except no one really knew. Like, I had friends in like all the different cliques, but like I went to a technical high school, so it was like there wasn't a lot of mingling like between the people. Like,
whatever shop you were.
Yeah. So like for half the year you were with your shop, and then the other half like you were pretty much kept in with people, from the same like grouping, like if you were in like the construction side of tech school or stuff like that. So but yeah, I wasn't, I don't know, it feels weird saying clickless, but it's just like I was gonna say, so I thought about it a little bit more. There was a small time during high school that I think I was in a clique that was very actually similar to this movie, now that I think about it. One of the guys was someone that we would say would be too gay to function, because he was very much like, in hindsight, he did very much act like Damien, where I don't think he was in theater, but like he did love singing, he did love calling people out, he did love like being a hater, so like a lot of those similarities. And then one of the girls in that group was very much one of those girls that was like, a lot of people thought she was pretty, but she would like purposely dress herself down because I forget if she was bullied in elementary school or if it was in high school. And then there was another girl in that group, but she kind of like oddly enough commingled with some of the popular girls, but then she also hung out in that group. I don't remember how I got roped into that group. I think I had gym class like with one or two of them. So I guess very similar to Katie, where I was just like, I don't know anybody else. And they were just like, okay, sit here. And I was like, okay. Yeah, it was like, I know for me it was just like, because I went to a Christian school, or Christian private school, and so when I first went there, it was like night and day difference, where it was just like there was much like myself now on the internet, when people like say certain like terminology, I was like, I have no clue what they're talking about. And like
It's
looking
all-
back, well, looking back now, it was like they were like, I remember there was like some of the groups was just pretty much asking if I had sex, but like they were
saying
doing
anything but the word.
well, no. Well, like even if they did ask that, like I don't know. I was really sheltered, and I was like, I don't even know if I would fully be able to understand the question they were asking. But the way they were asking was like with hand motions. It's like, oh, do you know what this means? And I'm like, you're just sticking your finger in your hand, like. And
So
like,
it was kind of like Katie in the asking about her muffin.
yeah,
that kinda scene.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just like, and I'm like, and it was pretty much like somebody in the class, like I didn't even know, and everyone's cracking up. And one of the guys was like, "Okay, now just stop." It's like he has no clue what you guys are talking about.
No,
It's
he
like-
clearly doesn't get it, guys. You
Yeah.
can drop the bit. Yeah.
And so, but he wasn't he was one of the popular kids, so I guess that's why they listened. But it was like, yeah, it was, it still doesn't even bother me. I'm just like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I wasn't really ever part of a clique. But trying to remember some of the other things. I did in this movie, like, man, I felt bad for Mr. Duval, the principal, because he just wanted to get through the year. What's it? What was it? I don't remember. Mrs. Norbury.
Oh, Norbury. Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
pusher.
Yep, she's a pusher of drugs. So I will say in the second half of the movie, because this is when like I was like, okay, the premise I wasn't really enjoying, like
All the setup.
the setup, which I'm like, I understand why they had to do it, but it's just like the second half of the movie where it's just like, I'm like, I didn't really know a whole much about this movie going in, so
I'm
like
sure you probably heard a lot of the quotes because
I heard a lot of the quotes.
It's a
Yeah.
very popular movie to quote from.
Which I heard the quotes, but it was just like I didn't really know story wise, but it was like after watching it, I'm like, okay, this is an under cop story, but in high school. Yeah, and so she goes too deep and becomes a plastic, and I'm like, okay, so next is she's probably gonna start actually failing, which does happen. She's gonna ruin the few friendships that she did have, which me as an adult looks at that, I'm like, okay, Janice and Damien, especially Janice, can't get mad at Katie, even though they do. It's like you pushed her into there without like.
Yeah, I do wonder, like you said, the movie is pretty fast paced and does like clip parts of the year. So I think as a teenager, I assumed that the parts that you don't see through the school year, maybe they did hang out a lot because
Yeah.
like during Halloween, she does end up going to Janice's house and like it's unlocked. You know,
I loved that scene where it's like they're just watching the movie and she opens up the door and they just scream and she's just there as the dead, the dead
'Cause-
bride.
Yeah, because when she came in and complained about her arch nemesis and the guy making out, they are very like, "Oh, come here." Like they are nice to her.
Yeah, it's like they're not, but it's like from.
You did push her to do this in the first place.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing as we were making Dragon Ball Z jokes earlier. How everyone says that Goku is a bad dad, even though everyone says that, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure in the show, Gohan talks about how good of a dad Goku is. It's
Yeah,
just
Goku's just
we
a
only
little
see.
busy saving the planet a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't want to watch him just dote on his son for 6 seasons.
There's an episode where him and Piccolo go to driver's ed to go get driver's licenses, and that's pretty good.
I'm sure it is, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yes, oh, I totally understand, but I'm like, sometimes it's just like, no, guys, you do realize there's years in between some of those sagas.
Yeah, it's not like the next big bad evil showed up like 3 months after.
This
He's
isn't
like,
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, we beat up Cell. Oh, it's been 3 months. Guess we gotta fight Boo. Oh no, Boo got worse. Well, okay, the Boo arc is a very back-to-back arc. But yeah, Frieza, Cell, Boo, the androids, like it's all like spread out.
It's not like how manga or how anime and mangas are done now, because it's not like a Sharknado where that happens all within a year. not Sharknado, Sharktopus.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sharknado probably is also like that with its how many, like 5 movies now?
I think it's up to 7 or 8.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but anyway, we're not talking about that movie. Yeah, so they make that plan, and I was sitting there and I was like, okay, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop when Katie pretty much gets like everything gets revealed, and it's like yeah, I thought it all happens at the night of the party, and it's just like world falls apart pretty much, and then yeah,
she got too big for her bones. She essentially successfully broke Regina because through her many ploys, they did get rid of everything that was important to her, and they got her kicked out of the lunch table. So then the two little lackeys were like, "Oh, you're our boss now. You can't spend time with your parents because we don't know how to exist without a boss."
Yeah.
So then Katie was like, "Oh, okay, I'll have like 4 people over, ma'am. You've been to all those Halloween parties. You should know better."
No, she hasn't.
Well, she went to the one Halloween party.
One Halloween party.
But okay, yes, it is in the same year. But I assume they probably would have had more house parties.
Yeah, it's one of the things with just the speed of how this movie goes. And then it like kind of just slows down as the Burn book comes out, which we see in the beginning, and it's like it holds all the half-truths. I feel like some of them are true, but it doesn't really say why they're true, or some of them are just straight.
I don't know if half-truths is the right way, but it's
rumors.
Yeah, like rumors said in a way that's like
very
inflammatory.
Harmful. Yeah. And so they reveal that, and then it's in the movie, Katie only writes 1, and it's about a teacher.
2.
She writes the second one?
In the very beginning, she doesn't realize the blurred lines between friendships. So she says,
yes.
She says the Damien line.
Yes. And that's when it's like, oh, I didn't realize that was
only cool for Janice to say. Yeah.
Intentionally wrote one down.
Yes, because she got mad because she has to do mathlete stuff to make up for her grades.
Yes. And so they do that. And so Regina goes and reveals the book. Well, first shares it with the principal, and Mr. Duval is just like, okay, girls, pulls in Katie, Gretchen, and I'm like looking at the IMDb, Karen, to make sure I get all their names. Yeah, brings them all in, and they're all just like, no, we didn't write this. And she's like, I hope nobody sees this. And they're like, while this is going on, Regina's just like drawing this
with
book.
Her photocopy burn book pages.
Which I'm like, she's an idiot. Like, I understand what she's trying to do, but it's like, you do realize you said, oh, I found this, and then I gave it to you. There's some pretty mean things, to immediately going and just sharing it all around the school. I'm like, why? Like, you just, to Mr. Duvall, which doesn't go down this fact, is you're the only one that brought it in there. And so if everyone's saying no one else has seen this book, you have just showed it to the world.
Yeah, but I think...
But there's other problems he has to deal with.
Yeah, I think she thought she was covered by putting herself in it.
Yeah.
Because, like, the girls even say, like, no, Regina wrote it. And he's like, why would Regina call herself these mean words? And they're like, because she's tricking you? And he's like, I don't know what to believe. Teenagers.
Yeah, so then the whole high school goes feral. as they try to kill each other. Well, at least, yeah. And so that all happens to where, for some reason, I guess it's just the girls that are going after each other, because they call all the girls into the school or into the gym, and Mr. Duvall is just like, I will keep you here all night if I have to.
Till 4 p.m.
4 p.m. I will keep you here to at least 4 p.m.
I would have canceled the spring fling if we didn't already pay the DJ.
Yes. And I'm like, I was feeling the staff members so much, because I'm like, yeah, I would feel the same way. But so yeah, then they probably the Tina Fey, Miss Norberry's whole section of just like trying to get the students to wake up, to where we get to the part where Janice pretty much says why Katie is the way she is, and then which causes an explosion between people, and starts the big rumor at the end where Regina gets hit by a bus, and Katie, everyone's like, oh, Katie pushed her in front of the bus, and it's like, no, but it all goes forward, because we only got a couple minutes left, where Katie goes to Mathletes, has to mind erase Crush's head out of the way of the blackboard to remember that the answer is doesn't exist, to come back. And this whole time, which is something I thought was a little bit funny, was she gets grounded because of the party. and so she goes out to Mathletes, and the mom comes back and is just like, tells the dad, just like, where's Katie? It's like, oh, she's out, she's grounded. Is that not how that works?
Yeah, is she not allowed out if she's grounded? Which
makes me wonder how the dad's childhood was, but it's like, so all that goes on, and they go to the school where they think she's at the spring fling, and they're like, no, she's not here. And then Tina Fey's character's like, we could just go, you're already out. Like, hey, let's ignore the fact that you're only here because of your bad decisions. What's one more? So they go to spring fling, and she wins the queen hat
equivalent
thing.
Yeah.
And then gives it away, and gives just all these compliments to everybody. To where I think one of the scenes that also, there's a bunch of scenes that made me laugh, and there were also scenes that I'm just like, it wasn't the cell level of like, but I'm just like, wait, oh.
Wait a second, what did I just say?
Well, not so much say, well, yes, definitely say, but then the whole gym teacher side of it, I'm like, ugh. Where I don't remember if I said it right before we recorded or during the recording. It was like, I thought that was a student. Oh,
it is.
It is a student. Yeah, that didn't trigger any memories for me. So like a bus did. But
you're saying that part wasn't like your junior high school experience. Gotcha.
To my knowledge, if it did happen, then well, that would be news to me. But yeah, they oh shoot, what was I saying before that? Oh, where it shows Janice and Damien, because they're like hanging out the whole time, and then it's like they give each other the eyes, and they're like, hey, and they go to kiss, and like, and Damien just runs. And I'm like, oh yes. I'm like, I'm glad they didn't like
switch that up. Yeah.
But I forget his name now, but he's like
Kevin.
The leader. Is it Kevin? The leader of the Mathletes?
Yeah, the one that raps.
Yeah.
He goes by Kevin G during the talent show.
I thought it was funny where he goes up to Katie and just like, I just want you to know, I don't remember the line, but he pretty much
I only date women of color.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Says.
I'm like, I don't know what he says, but it's like, I know the essence of what he says. And Katie's just like, okay. To where it's just goes up to Janice is like, hey. And then it's just like I think it's like the first reveal that she's like Colombian or has like
No, he asks if she's Puerto Rican. She says
Puerto
she's
Rican.
Lebanese.
Lebanese. Okay, that's what it was. I'm like, I couldn't remember what. It was also past 1:00 when I got to that part. So, and they dating it. It's like, to the very little we see on screen is, yeah, they are actually good for each other. Yeah, and then I did like the end where they're just like how everybody gets involved differently. Like how Regina pretty much she heals up enough to do lacrosse, and it was like, yeah, the jocks aren't afraid of her, and her rage is doing really good. To where I'm like, oh my goodness, they just dogpiled her, and she just like broke her back. Like, so, still like to recover from getting hit from a bus.
And being in a back brace for who knows how long.
Yeah, but like, yeah, from that, but like also being able to go to the spring fling thing, to not like, dude, she is a monster. And then what is it? I'm scanning to find the names. Karen, I forget what Karen. Yeah,
she does
the weather
forecast
thing. Yeah,
because she knows when it's already been raining.
Yes. And then Gretchen.
She has ESPN.
Yes, that line made me laugh. I think it's ESPN. Okay. And then Gretchen, I'm trying to remember. Like she
joins the Vietnamese group of girls.
Yeah. So they're just talking about toaster strudels or something. It's like I can't remember, but it's like so it was a neat thing. And then I did like the final bit where it's like, oh no, freshman plastics, and then they get hit by a bus. And it's like, nah, just joking.
JK.
But it's like, we know how to deal with them.
But yeah, so for our first watch, yeah, I know the beginning of the movie is a bit slow because they have to introduce you to everyone and the premise. But no, I do really enjoy this movie, and it does make me laugh a lot. Like, I think the other line, which I was going to bring up when it comes to the Christmassy thing, is when they give out the candy canes. And yes. Damien's dressed up as the Santa Claus and just runs up. He's like, one for Caddy, one for Karen, none for Gretchen Wieners, bye.
Yes. I forgot he was dressed like Santa.
And he's just in and out. And then I love the scene with the they're doing the different healing, like retreat stuff for the different girls. And it's like, you're not fat because I don't hate you because you're fat. You're fat because I hate you. And then they can't catch her.
Yes. Just running away.
You just hear the thud of her wheelchair and you're like, oh, that's not okay. Yeah, and then Karen, is it Karen? No, Gretchen says like, I'm so popular and you guys aren't, and I'm sorry, it sucks to not be popular. And the only person that tries to catch her is Karen, and you just hear them like scream and hit the floor. Yes. That's a very fun time.
Well, yeah, and Karen's just like, I got you.
And then the random girl is just crying, and she's not really saying anything. She's just like, if I could make you a cake, I will bring it. Oh, full of butterflies, I will bring it. And Damien in the back, she doesn't even go here.
Yeah, it's like, why are you even here? It's like, I like the drama.
No, whatever. She said, I have a lot of feelings.
No, like they asked Damien why he's there.
Oh, in the back.
Yeah, he's just like, I just like being here.
Yeah, but then the girl, they're like, why are you here? She's like, I just have a lot of feelings.
Apparently, the whole line where Damien yells out of the car, and I want my pink shirt back, was improvised on the spot by the guy who did.
Actor. That was a good line, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bit where Janice is, really finds out that Katie is, doing the same exact stuff. She's lying. She's not inviting Janice to things and all that stuff. And Damien's in the car. We have curfew. It is 1:10 a.m. and I have to get this car back in a driveway right now, so we have to leave. Can you finish this? And Janice is like, no, I'm yelling at Katie. He's like, okay, I'm not stopping the car. You're not getting out of the car.
Yeah, it's Damien, like, he also we the timer did end. But Damien, he definitely like he definitely made me he definitely helped the. Not, I'm trying to think of the right words, but he made me laugh almost
Very
every
big
time.
comedic relief, yeah.
Yes.
Him at the talent show, he just starts
Yes.
singing, and they throw the stuff at him, and he doesn't. He just sings and throws it back
Yeah, and just
without even
pissed off at them.
stopping.
Yeah. I think the reason why Damien cracks me up so much is that when I was not a youth pastor but a youth leader, there was a kid that acted very similar to the way Damien acts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was gay, but I don't know because I'm not working there with that anymore. But it was a very similar like cadence of speech and the way he handled himself, and it's like, so whenever Damien came up, like that kid came to my mind, and it was making me laugh. Just like I could see him doing this. So the line fetch, apparently, according to IMDb, I just saw it and it disappeared. It pretty much, oh, here it is. Was the slang term fetch, which was short for fetching, well, apparently was invented by Tina Fey because she didn't want to use an outdated term of speech for teenagers.
Oh, she really wanted to try and make Gretchen try and make something happen that wasn't really a thing for them. Okay.
Yeah.
Regina George's character. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yes, which was like the final, like the start of the end.
Yeah, and I do like Gretchen's fall from her love of Regina. Like, she's in class and she goes, "Stupid Brutus and his stupid fat feet. We should just stab him already. Why don't we just stab Caesar?"
Yeah, it felt like it didn't feel like a forced or like quick thing. It was like it was a very natural of like the highlights of like the splitting of that.
I do, yeah. And then her, because they say that her hair is so big because it's full of secrets, and then her just going, "Oh, she had a nose job. You didn't hear it from me. Her parents don't sleep in the same bed anymore. You didn't hear it from me."
Yeah, it was just fun. She's like, "Oh my goodness."
But yes, so yeah, in your summary, we didn't go over the Christmas stuff because I figured you were saving it for here because we were going to talk about it anyway. So the main Christmas.
Wait, Karen was the dumb one, right?
Yes.
Apparently, Scarlett Johansson was tested for that role.
That would have been so weird. Like, in my mind, it would have been so weird.
It's like not how we see her now.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through the trivia thing and seeing if there's anything fun. Where, I don't know, some of these are just really big. Oh my god. So a lot of these are just like, hey, here's people that auditioned for Karen. Apparently a lot of people did. Ashley Tisdale.
I can see that because she played kind of like a dumber type of character for Disney for a while on like High School Musical.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. It's going back. That's all I really had. The rest seemed like a lot more to read than was willing.
Just a quick read, yeah. I also, before I forget, I still love the phone thing where it is very dated now, having to worry about like secret three-way calling, but I remember that as a kid, and I actually had to deal with that kind of drama from some of my friends, where they would try and like get me to say something mean about someone while the other person was on the line and I wasn't aware. But it was just fun when they do the whole bit where they're like, Gretchen's still on the phone, and Karen's like, "Oh my god, she's so annoying," and Gretchen's like, "Who is?"
Oh.
Beep beep. And then they tell her like what Regina said about her, and she goes back, "I'm sick."
Yeah, oh man, it was a really good cast, like that all worked together, and it's like, I don't know, it kind of shows that like at least the teenagers, for the most part, at least the people that were the plastics, they all kept doing acting stuff. I'm gonna look up the other ones real quick. It's just the Janice, who was Lizzie Chaplin.
I know she's in some stuff too.
Yeah, like as I read that name, I'm like, oh, she's definitely been in something recent. Yeah, it's just weird now, like looking at it, because a lot of stuff is TV show because of COVID. But it looks like she was in a lot of TV shows anyway. The one who played Janice, Lizzie.
Okay.
And then Daniel Franchise. I don't know if I'm Frances. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He the first thing that pops up is Not So Straight in Silver Lake. So, but it looks like he also has done a lot of just TV movies and series and stuff.
Okay.
It doesn't. I don't know if they're. I don't know. They might be in America. It's lame. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like they're still in the roles.
Still acting. It's not like us watching Sharktopus and like, oh, they were in the third Sharktopus, and then in a bunch of movies not in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was any other
Fun facts.
or like just people we wanted to look up. Yeah. So
Yeah. Have you watched Scrubs before?
I watched a handful of episodes.
Okay, because the dad is the janitor from Scrubs, and he is very funny in Scrubs.
Yeah, like I thought the parents were good. Like just
They were very good at being blissful at everything.
It's like I'm surprised, and it's like one of those things I wonder, like to segue into the Christmas part, is when they watched the Christmas production, like you could tell they were like, oh, what is our daughter doing?
What has she been exposed to?
But like so I guess we can go full into it. It's just like they go and it turns out that they're doing oh shoot, now I forgot the name of the song.
Santa Baby.
Was it Santa Baby?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so they were doing that song, and it says that Janice is the one that did the choreography for that back in like 8th grade, and they're still doing that. And so they do that, and then the radio starts skipping, and then Regina goes up and kicks it.
No, Gretchen does.
Gretchen, yeah, sorry, wrong person. Goes up and accidentally kicks it and breaks it, and they're all like stuck in their poses. And then Katie's like, and so starts singing the song, and like just finishes the song for everybody, and everyone's like, oh yeah, this is cool. And so like, it was like, it felt like there may have been a conversation that was in the book. Like now I'm like wondering, and I'm like, am I interested enough to sit down and read this book to see like, is there more stuff in between? Because like, I don't know, it feels, from what I could feel like from this whole movie, like it's not like her parents were uncaring, but it's just that there wasn't time to have that.
Yeah, in the very beginning, they do have them ask. They're like, on her first day of school, she's crying, and they look shocked. They don't know what to do to help her. And on the second day, they're like, how was school today? And she was like, better. They're like, were the kids nice? She's like, no. They're like, did you make friends? Yes.
Yeah. And
it did seem like she was at least honest with her parents up until she fully transformed.
Yeah.
Because her parents were very like, I don't know what to do with you, when she was clearly like lying, sneaking out, throwing parties, and doing stuff they weren't expecting her to do. But are you ready to go into Is It Christmas? Because we have been chatting, for a while now.
I have to ask, what song did you say it was?
Santa Baby?
No, it's Jingle Bell Rock. I'm like,
oh, why did I thought they said Santa Baby in the movie.
I don't know. I just looked it up and was like, I don't think that's Santa Baby. Because I heard the song on the radio today. So.
Oh yeah, it was Jingle Bell Rock. Sorry, I don't know why I thought it was Santa Baby.
It's all good. It was. I'm like, I don't think it's that. Like, so I just looked it up so that way, this will be the one episode where everyone's just like, 1 star. They said the wrong song. It's like, shut up. This movie came out in 2004.
Okay, so to our Christmas thing, so we can wrap this episode up, rather than just keep quoting the movie. So like D-Payne said, that is pretty much the Christmas section. And like the 2 seasons they really or I guess there are 3 seasons they focus in on this movie. It's Halloween, Christmas, and then the Spring Fling. So then Christmas has a good chunk to it. So I guess the first question, does it take place in the Christmas season? It does happen.
But I think I would give this a maybe, because it's not like the whole movie. Like,
I guess Green Knight did keep fast forwarding, huh?
The Green Knight, it just skipped the non-Christmas season part. It was just,
it hinted at it. And
it hinted at it, and then it was in like. Okay, well, the question is like, when would we consider the whole month of December the Christmas season?
If it were up to American businesses and corporations, it would be the day after Halloween.
Yeah, but like, we're no better because we stretched Halloween out since August. So, but
I would say the month of December.
Yeah, well, so, but it's like, I would say it's like that chunk of the movie is not like the whole movie. Like, I would say a part of it does, but not the whole movie. Like, I think if like the second half of the movie all took place like for a winter dance, I would put that as a Christmas season. But the thing is, it's like, it's not like there wasn't any Christmas. So for me personally, I think it would be more of a sort of like, yes.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I would say yes to Christmas music, because they did call out a specifically popular and well-known song, and they went through. Did they sing the whole song? Pretty much.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The only part I remember. So.
I would say yes to Christmas decorations, because they had decorated the whole school, the whole stage, the whole talent show. This is where I wasn't sure. There is a moral, but is it Christmassy?
So I was thinking about it, and I think if this was done in the Christmas season, it could be a Christmas moral. But the whole thing is like, at this point of the movie, she's still within that half like undercover cop thing where she hasn't fully committed to plasticdom yet. And so like, I think I probably lean to no, because at this point, like, the whole moral of the story doesn't really come out until the spring, because that's when everything fast forwards and it's just like everyone's on edge and everyone's getting betrayed, and like the crux, even though as an adult watching this I know what the moral and everything's going to be, it really at this point, like in Halloween and Christmas, there's still like, hey, try to get on her good side and figure out how we can destroy her from the inside out. And there really is more like the information gathering scene. So like, is there a moral that they're teaching this movie? Yes, but I think like there is the whole thing with like, oh, here's your candy cane, Graham, where it's more like the plans, but it's not like there isn't any like attempt to learn something at that point.
For me, I think I'm still going to give it a kind of, because the movie even had a moral, but it's not a Christmas moral. Because, like, I'm thinking of the next movie that's on our watch list, and I don't know that one even has a moral in it.
Vigilantism is the best moral.
So I think you can give it a 1. I think I'm going to give it a 2, just because the movie at least touches a moral. So it's moral. I also can't remember if there's a moral in Die Hard. We'll see.
Yeah, don't jump out of a building.
Don't fight with your wife when there's a terrorist in the building.
Beware of broken glass. Oh, man.
And I'm also going to give a kinda to Santa appearing. It's not Santa, but it's a Santa.
Yes, I will do the same as well. Where it's and that's the thing, in case anyone's wondering, like, our scores don't have to match. This isn't
like the ranking of the Alien Predator movies. So then our final sum for how Christmas. If you say something enough times, you forget how to say it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't add up, right? What did I summarize?
I don't know.
Oh, I see what I did.
It would be a 23. 23 out of 30.
I accidentally did the rectangle. I did adding this up instead of just the two. But yes. So Mean Girls is only slightly more Christmassy than Green Knight.
I'm okay with that. It's like, even though I like the Green Knight more, I'm okay with that because the Green Knight's Christmas is like, hey, I'm going to go get my head chopped off, and I was just banging people, and it's like...
But they also have to tell us it's Christmas.
Yes.
Like, every kind of, like, half hour, they have to be, by the way, Christmas is around the corner, or Christ is born.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yeah, it would be very hard to tell what time of year it is.
Here's a question, mainly because it's bothering my head. Is there any way we can put the /30 to it?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that with your Excel setups.
I just removed the Excel setup.
Okay. I was like, I didn't want to break anything. So, yeah. And so, I would agree. This, for that chunk of time, it is slightly more Christmas themed than all of Green Knight.
Yeah, so right now Green Knight has a 20 out of 30 for how Christmassy it is, and Mean Girls has a 23 out of 30.
Oh man, I really wish we put a movie on like a Sharktopus that would get 3s just out of everything because it's just a...
Watch one of those horror movies that has like...
And
it's like... I forget the name of it, where it's set during... I think it's sorority girls are having a Christmas party, and an someone dressed up as Santa comes in and starts to murder them. Because Santa would have appeared... Santa.
Oh, next year we can do Christmas horror, and it's like, how much is this Christmas horror movie a Christmas
all the way
movie?
Through.
Exactly. That's the new name of our podcast. Halloween all the way through.
And then we have... the in-betweens can be like the Ginger Dead Men movies for Thanksgiving.
I have no clue what that is. Give me 1 second. Ginger Dead. The Gingerbread Man. Oh my goodness.
Comedy slasher film.
Oh my goodness. Why does he look... he looks like a Star Wars alien's face. No, he looks like the Grinch's face melted on a cookie.
I like this.
It's Gary
picture.
Busey. Oh my goodness. Hold on. This is getting put on the schedule.
Look at his face.
I gotta... Yeah. That's what I saw too. Oh man, how many of these are there?
I see at least 3.
Oh my goodness. Guys, welcome to the planning talks of that we have. Because it's pretty much like, you ever heard of this? No, what is it? Oh my goodness, yes. When can we do this?
Okay, I see 3 that come up as movies, but I think I've seen, like, there are some that are like versus things, but...
Oh my goodness. Okay, I just gotta read these names real quick. Okay, so the first one is The Ginger Dead Man. And then the second one is the Gingerbread Man 2, The Passion of the Crust. And then Gingerbread Man 3, Saturday Night Cleaver.
Oh my goodness.
So I just want to say, Gingerbread Man 2 already has a better score than all 3 Sharktopus movies.
Good for that movie.
Oh my goodness.
That is fantastic.
What did the first one get? Okay, no, the first one. Oh my gosh. An evil yet adorable gingerbread man. That's adorable?
I don't think adorable is the right word for that.
Gingerbread man comes to life with the soul of a convicted killer. The real life cookie monster Rex... Oh, I hate that line. Wreaks havoc on the girl who sent the killer to the electric chair. Excuse me. This is Chucky.
But gingerbread.
Yes. So yeah, guys, welcome to what next year might look like. But yeah. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed that, I X'd out of all the things.
Yeah. Follow the links, talk to us, communicate with us, leave us comments, ratings, reviews. If we get a chance to see them, we'll call them out. If it's late, it's because we're pre-recording content so that when it gets around to this time of year, we can spend it doing the holiday shenanigans with family.
Because... Oh, I remember the thing I wanted to tell you earlier today. For anyone that is looking at November 14th and wonder why the episode didn't come out, it's because I forgot to upload it. I uploaded it to YouTube, and I just uploaded it that afternoon. So that is why that episode showed up late.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. But now we're all caught up to date until the Green Knight, which means I'm like looking at the multiple shows I gotta do, and I'm just like editing and rendering multiple things.
Whoa.
Yep. Which will only become more. But anyway, yeah, so next week is
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. Forever. And yeah, if you guys made it this far, let us know what clique that you died in high school too, or was part of. And do you know when I was in ninth grade, the local newspaper put out, they had like the teen section that came out like every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And that one of them came in and they had a huge section of here's the cliques of schools.
That's uncomfortable.
And I just remembered this. My English teacher brought that article in and she was like, okay, when was in ninth grade? Graduated in 2007. So, it might have been 2003. I don't know. School years get confusing. I'm trying to think. Did she watch Mean Girls and wanted to do the click thing? But yeah, I just remember our teacher came in, and she was like, okay, like what clique do you think the people next to you is in?
Ugh.
And like I think it was more like the whole point was like, oh yeah, talk to the people next to you, whatever. I just remember like I was like I think we had like assigned seating, and so it was just like I was sitting next to one of the girls that pretty much all the guys in the class was just like, oh my goodness, she's so pretty. And it's just like, for anyone that doesn't know me, my brain doesn't work that way. And so I'm just like, and so like I was just going off of the things, and I'm like, and so they comes to me and they're just like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like I froze. It was a little bit of that decision paralysis, and I'm like, ah. And it was like, because one of them was like, I think it was like the proxy tots or something like that, and it's just like, yeah, they just cake on makeup and look pretty and try to get all the boys. And I'm like, I know that's what some of the class people would want me to say, but I don't know her. It's
That's
like
weird.
It's like no one had problems with it, and then it came to me, and it's just like I overthought the whole question, because I'm like, no, I don't actually know who this person is, and a 5-minute conversation isn't going to tell me who like
where that bucket is.
Yeah, and it's like I just remember it was like I wasn't able to formulate that into words, but like in my head I'm like, I don't know, and so I just said floater, because that was one of the other things, was just they float between groups. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know you. And so like everyone was just like, no, that's not what it's supposed to be. And the teacher's like, hey, just move on, because I'm like, I am uncomfortable.
This is not my area of expertise. Can
Yep.
we do anything else?
Can I go back to sleeping in class, please? But yeah, so please let us. Oh man, I wonder if I can find that article. I don't know.
That would be
how.
interesting.
Not that it would have been good to find for this week. But anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Batman next week. I gotta watch it tomorrow. Bye.